Yeah, we can hear you.
Jeez. What brought time? Time was actually thought about with BAND, Business Assisted Neighborhood Development, which was an organization I created after Bond Student Community Council was a hostile takeover from me. I spent many days and hours on the Detroit People's Task Force, and someone sat back and waited until we got to the point where we were well established and were about to start receiving our grants and had multiple community relations and came in like a thief of the night and just stole it. But I learned to shake that loose, and I continued to move on. When I went to Chrysler, I kind of left my community service behind and became an advocate with the UAW.
Good.
I immediately took my community experience in and became very radical inside the Jefferson North Assembly plant, challenging both caucuses. I thank God that he blinded me to my stupidity, because I was standing strong in my beliefs and not knowing what I was fighting against, and I had a war going on with both sides. But eventually I wound up winning in my first year. And I learned a lot about being in the union. I also learned about when you run up against a giant, when they tell you to sit down, I think you better go on back out the door and have a seat. And that was Lanita Gaines, and she was well known at Jefferson North. But back to the Detroit People's Task Force, I think many know that my son became incarcerated, wrongly convicted, accused of killing his best friend, which he went to go help. There was a lot of missing evidence and fabricated evidence in his case. As a matter of fact, there's a police officer who's involved in wrongly convicted cases of individuals that have been freed. And Kim Worth is sitting very quietly on his name and actually moving on the process of bringing all of these convictions and everything that involving him and another officer that passed away, William. Mr. Williams, he passed away, but as I begin to research these cases, I'm realizing that he's involved in a lot of corruption, although he's gone. So there's the process of a missing gun shell, the letter T we've been trying to get in my son's case that keeps us fighting, and then, like I said, the new evidence with this police officer that has been involved in a lot of corruption and fabrication of cases. Time teaching inmate mothers empowerment is exactly what it is. When you get that first phone call and you know not what to do, and you pick up the phone and you call the most expensive attorney, and you know you're just operating on just chance and not knowing, and trying to get as much information as you can and resources, and finding out that you really need an army to go to court with you when you go for your court cases. And it's a lot of paperwork and the corruption of the justice system that you believe so much in. And it's just that there are a lot of women out there that are taking this walk along. Of course, the family member starts off with you, but it's a long journey when they're serving life. Sometimes you look out the window and you find yourself all alone, you know, because they're tired. Life takes us all through a journey, and we need to be a support team. This is why I didn't say support group. I said support team, because a lot of times when you say support, people want to put everything that they're going through on you, but you actually need a team. Just as the judge said, we need a team, and I am so impressed with the way that she feels about the task force, making a recommendation that we go farther than where we are, that we have to go beyond Detroit, and we do. We have to go beyond Detroit because there's a new Detroit. And a lot of the grassroots organizations that were out here, a lot of the real strong soldiers, the troopers, they're tired, they've died, and they got a lot of health issues, you know, and I guess I'm falling behind them. I'll be turning 60 not too far away, you know. It's going to take a miracle. It's going to take this organization being able to pierce the heart of many. When we talk about injustice, we're not just talking about injustice on one level. We're talking about injustice on many levels.
That's right.
Once, the Lord gave me a vision about a march. Usually when He gives me something, I'm everywhere, by the way, even with my speaking, because my mind is constantly going. I don't want to say thank God I'm not married, but it's kind of a good thing that I'm not married, because I think I'll wind up in divorce court again. Really, because, you know, I sleep, eat, think, and just dream of how to make change. And even my coworkers know that. You know, I don't really have a lot of time to socialize. I go in, I sit down with the books, and that's where my mind is at, because I not only have a loved one that's incarcerated, there are many from the beginning of time,
right.
the beginning of slavery, because that's what prison is.
That's right.
Prison is slavery and about money. Not saying that all people are don't belong behind. There are some that belong behind it, but there are many who is for propaganda. And our boys and our girls, women, are going to prison more than men now. There is something wrong with our society. America is incarcerating more than any other person. The home of the free. And they say, make America good again? I guess so. Because they're taking us back 50 years.
That's right.
And their main focus is the urban communities. We're going to lock them up. One way or the other. If we get rid of their school systems, if we break and keep them in poverty, if we change the laws while they're sleeping and partying and distraction with empower and power and all that other stuff that everybody's doing, having a good time, while they're thinking of a way to get total control.
That's right.
Not researching, you know, thinking that every day is 1999. And it's not. This is not 1999 anymore. We have prison camps, a madman in the White House, anything goes.